In the quiet village of Umuke, surrounded by golden fields and whispering palm trees, lived a young maiden named Amara Nosu. From the day she blossomed into womanhood, the entire village spoke of her beauty and grace. Her skin glowed like polished bronze in the sun. Her braided hair was often decorated with tiny cowries, and her laughter carried through the air like the sound of a flute. But beyond her beauty, it was her kindness and humility that made her beloved. She fetched water for the elderly, shared her food with the children, and greeted everyone with respect. By her side were her two closest companions, Ngozi Okafor and Chioma Eze. To the eyes of many, they were like sisters, always walking together, eating roasted corn under the mango tree, whispering secrets late into the evening. But unknown to Amara, envy had already planted its poisonous seed in the hearts of her friends. Amara's mother, Mama Ifeoma, a tall woman with tribal marks and eyes sharp as an eagle's, was never comfortable with the friendship. One evening, as Amara braided her mother's hair, Mama Ifeoma spoke in a firm but tender voice. "My daughter, not every smile is from the heart. Some who walk beside you carry laughter on their lips, but envy in their eyes. Be watchful, for jealousy is a fire that burns even the purest friendship." Amara had chuckled then, shaking her head. "Mama, you worry too much. Ngozi and Chioma are my sisters in spirit. They love me." Mama Ifeoma sighed deeply, gazing at her daughter's glowing face. "Beauty attracts not only love, my child, but also hatred. Guard your heart, Amara." That night, Amara lay on her raffia mat, staring at the ceiling as her mother's words echoed in her mind. She pushed them away, convincing herself that her mother was only being overprotective. After all, Ngozi and Chioma had never left her side. But deep inside, a small unease lingered, one she could not name. The peaceful rhythm of Umweke village was shaken one bright morning by the sound of the town crier's gong. Beating it loudly, he walked through the dusty paths, shouting, his voice carrying far and wide. "Hear ye! Hear ye! The prince has returned from the land of the white men. Igwe Obioha has announced, Prince Obinna shall take a wife. Only a maiden of purity and good character shall become queen." Excitement spread like wildfire. Mothers rushed to their daughters, whispering questions they had never dared to ask before. Some young women bowed their heads in shame. Others wept for wasted chances. But Amara, with her gentle heart, remained calm. She had never known a man, nor strayed from her mother's teachings. When Mama Ifeoma heard the news, she clasped her daughter's hands tightly. Her voice trembled, not with fear, but with awe. "Amara, the gods may have preserved your purity for such a time as this. But remember, when destiny calls, enemies will rise louder than friends. Keep your spirit steady." Amara smiled softly. "Mama, if it is written, it will happen. I shall not chase destiny. I will simply live as I have always lived." Days later, the entire village gathered at the royal palace courtyard. The drummers beat with fiery energy, women sang praises, and the air was filled with hope. From a golden carriage stepped Prince Obinna, tall and regal, his robe embroidered with threads that shimmered like morning dew. His presence silenced the crowd. His eyes, sharp yet gentle, swept across the maidens assembled. And then he saw her, Amara. Standing modestly in her simple white wrapper, her beauty shone brighter than gold. But it was not her face alone that caught him. It was her posture of humility, the way she lowered her eyes with respect, the way she greeted even the smallest child beside her. His heart beat differently. Whispering to his father, the prince said, "Father, she is the one." The elders began the sacred tests, examining the maidens one by one. Whispers filled the air as the rituals unfolded. But when Amara's turn came, every sign confirmed her purity. The drums thundered louder, and the town crier announced, "Prince Obinna has chosen Amara Norsu as his bride." The villagers erupted in joy, praising the gods for such a blessing. Women ululated, children danced, and elders nodded in approval. But at the edge of the crowd, two faces darkened, Ngozi and Kioma. Ngozi's fists clenched as her eyes burned with envy. She leaned toward Kioma and hissed, "Why must it always be her? Beauty, respect, and now a prince. I will never allow this." Kioma, though hesitant, felt her own heart grow bitter. "She is lucky," she whispered. "Too lucky." While the village rejoiced, jealousy brewed in silence. The celebration of Amara's betrothal to Prince Obinna echoed for days across Umweke. Drums beat late into the night. Villagers danced in the moonlight, and elders declared that the gods had honored the land with favor. Everywhere Amara walked, women blessed her. Children ran to her side, and men bowed with respects. But not all hearts rejoiced. Beneath the mango tree, where laughter once bound three friends together, Ngozi and Kioma sat with bitterness eating at their souls. Kioma sighed heavily. "Amara is blessed beyond measure. The prince will marry her, and we will remain as nothing." Ngozi's lips curled into a scornful smile. "Nothing? No, Kioma. I refuse to let her climb so high while we are left in the dust. She has stolen the eyes of the village long enough. It is time she learns she is not untouchable." Kioma hesitated, her voice low and uncertain. "But the prince has already chosen her. The elders tested her. Everyone knows she's pure. What can we do?" Ngozi leaned closer, her eyes sharp with malice. "Purity is not about truth. It is about what people believe. If the village doubts her, the prince will doubt her. We need only a seed of rumor." Kioma's face paled. "You mean we should lie?" "Yes," Ngozi whispered fiercely. "We will whisper that Amara has a secret lover. By the time we are done, her name will be stained forever." The next day they went to visit Amara, pretending to share in her joy. She welcomed them with open arms, her smile as warm as ever. As she swept her compound, Ngozi clapped her hands with false excitement. "Amara, we have something wonderful to tell you. But promise, no one else must know." Amara raised her brows in curiosity. "What is it?" Kioma leaned closer, her voice trembling with rehearsed mischief. "Ngozi and I have boyfriends. It is sweet, Amara. You should try it too. Even Mike has been eyeing you. He likes you." Amara froze, the broom still in her hand. Her expression hardened. "Never. I will not defile myself. I will remain pure until my husband claims me. You know this." Ngozi rolled her eyes, masking her frustration with laughter. "Ah, Amara, you are too strict. Life is short. Why deny yourself?" But Amara only shook her head firmly. "I would rather guard my future than ruin it for a fleeting pleasure." The girls left with plastered smiles, but their hearts boiled with rage. On the way home, Kioma whispered nervously, "She will never fall into our trap. What now?" Ngozi's eyes narrowed. "Then we must push harder. If she will not destroy herself, we will destroy her." Far away in her hut, Mama Ifeoma stirred her cooking pot, her heart restless. She could not explain why, but she felt the wind shifting, as if danger lurked just beyond her sight. She prayed silently to the gods, "Protect my child, for the enemy wears the mask of friendship." The days moved swiftly, and soon the village prepared for Amara's wedding. Women sang as they wove fine wrappers, young men carved stools, and elders rehearsed blessings to be spoken at the union of Amara and Prince Obinna. The air was filled with joy, but in Mama Ifeoma's heart, unease lingered like a shadow. One morning, as she tied her wrapper and prepared for the farm, she called Amara aside. Her eyes glistened with the weight of a dream she could not shake. My daughter, listen to me carefully. Last night, I saw danger wrapped around you like a snake. Promise me you will not leave this house today, especially not with Ngozi or Kioma." Amara laughed gently. "Mama, you worry too much. They are my friends. Why would they harm me?" But Mama Ifeoma was not smiling. She reached into a clay pot, pulled out a smooth stone, and dropped it into a bowl of water. Handing it to Amara, she said, "Do not step out of this compound until this stone becomes soft. Remember, obedience is better than regret." Amara nodded to ease her mother's fears, but inside, she thought it strange. How could a stone ever become soft? Not long after Mama Ifeoma left, Ngozi and Kioma arrived, their faces painted with false smiles. "Amara, let us go to the river," Ngozi said brightly. "The sun is harsh today, and the cool water will refresh us before your wedding. It may be our last time to play as girls together." Amara hesitated, pointing to the bowl. "My mother asked me to stay until this stone becomes soft." The two girls burst into laughter, clutching their stomachs. Kioma sneered. "Amara, are you a child? Do you not know stones never soften in water? Your mother was only teasing." Ngozi leaned closer, her voice sugary but sharp. "Will you let her fears make you proud? Do you think you are too special to join us?" Amara's heart tugged. She remembered their childhood games, the laughter they once shared. Her spirit warned her to stay, but her love for her friends weakened her. Finally, she sighed. "Very well, let's go, but we must return quickly." They led her away, taking the hidden path through tall grasses toward the forbidden river of Uguta. The air grew cooler, the trees thicker, and a strange silence covered the path. Amara frowned. "Why are we not using the main road? This way leads to the forbidden waters." Ngozi rolled her eyes. "You fear too much, Amara. Nothing will happen." When they reached the riverbank, Amara's eyes widened. The water shimmered with an unnatural brightness, as though the goddess herself watched. She stepped back. "I will not enter. My spirit is not at peace." But Ngozi's patience snapped. With sudden fury, she shoved Amara forward. Kioma gasped, too shocked to move. Amara fell into the river with a cry, and the waters erupted in golden light. The current swirled violently, and from the depths rose not a girl, but a majestic golden python, its scales glistening like fire, its eyes glowing with human sorrow. It hissed softly, coiling as if crying in anguish. Ngozi stepped back, trembling yet laughing bitterly. "So let her be a queen now. Let's see if the prince will marry a serpent." Kioma shivered, her heart pounding as she whispered, "We have done evil." But Ngozi silenced her with a glare. Together they fled, leaving the golden python to writhe in the river, her cries echoing into the forest. At that moment, far away in the farm, Mama Ifeoma suddenly dropped her basket of yams. Her spirit shook violently, and she whispered, "The gods, my child is in danger." Without waiting, she ran home, fear gripping her heart. By evening, Umuike village buzzed with unease. Amara had not been seen since morning. Women whispered by their cooking fires, men searched the paths, and children asked questions their mothers could not answer. Mama Ifeoma returned from the farm and found her compound empty. Panic rose in her chest. She rushed inside, calling out, "Amara! My child!" Silence answered her. She ran outside, her eyes catching the bowl of water where the stone still sat, hard and untouched. Her knees buckled. "Oh, gods of my fathers, I told her not to leave. My child, where are you?" Word spread quickly. Amara is missing. Villagers gathered, forming search parties. Some went into the forest, others combed the streams. Even Ngozi and Kioma joined, pretending to be worried, their faces masked with fake tears. Kioma cried loudly, "Amara, where are you? She's like a sister to us," Ngozi added with practiced grief. "May nothing evil have happened to her." But in their hearts they rejoiced, believing Amara was gone forever. That night the palace courtyard was heavy with tension. Prince Obinna paced restlessly, his face dark with worry. The elders muttered among themselves. Then, under the moonlight, Ngozi boldly stepped forward, dressed in her finest wrapper, her skin oiled to glow. She bowed low before the prince. "My prince, I came to comfort you," she began sweetly. "Do not waste your heart grieving over Amara. Perhaps she was never meant to be your bride." The prince barely looked at her, his jaw tight. "I do not wish to speak." But Ngozi pressed on, lowering her voice. "There is something you deserve to know. Amara was not as innocent as she seemed. She had a secret lover. She must have run away with him. The test you saw, it was a lie, bribed by her family." The courtyard fell into stunned silence. The elders exchanged uneasy glances. The prince stopped pacing and turned sharply toward Ngozi, his eyes blazing. "You dare slander her name?" he thundered. "Do you take me for a fool? I saw her heart. I know her spirit. She is no liar." Ngozi faltered, trying to recover. "My prince, I only—" "Enough!" Prince Obinna roared. His voice carried through the palace like thunder. "You are nothing but a jealous snake, and I will never hear her name from your lips again. Guards, if she sets foot in this palace again, cast her out." Shame flushed Ngozi's face. The elders stared at her with disgust as she turned and fled humiliated. Yet in her heart hatred burned hotter. She muttered under her breath, "If she cannot be mine, she will be destroyed completely." That night, while the village slept, Prince Obinna stood at his window staring at the stars. His voice was low, trembling with pain, but firm with faith. "Amara, wherever you are, I know you live. I will not take another bride until I find you. My love will wait." And far away in the depths of the forbidden river, the golden python stirred, her eyes glowing with sorrow but also hope. Somewhere deep inside, Amara's human soul heard his vow and wept silently. The days following Amara's disappearance were filled with confusion in Umweke. Search parties returned with empty hands, and the palace grew quiet with worry. Though many whispered doubts, Prince Obinna refused to give up hope. But in one compound, sleepless nights began to torment Kioma Esse. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw the same haunting vision. A golden python rising from the forbidden river, its scales glowing like fire, its eyes human. Amara's eyes, staring at her with silent sorrow. She would jolt awake, drenched in sweat, her heart pounding like a drum. She told herself it was only a dream, but the visions returned each night, heavier, sharper, impossible to ignore. Finally, unable to bear it, she ran to Ngozi. Her voice trembled as she spoke. "Ngozi, I cannot endure this anymore. Every night I see her, the serpent with her face. She knows what we did. She looks at me like she wants justice. I want to confess." Ngozi's face hardened, her eyes flashing with anger. "Confess? Are you mad? If you speak, we are both finished. The village will stone us, the prince will hate us, and the elders will curse us." Kioma clutched her chest. "But I cannot sleep. Her eyes follow me, Ngozi. My spirit is dying." Ngozi hissed and dug into her wrapper, pulling out a small pouch. She held out a dark powder, her voice low and urgent. "Here, rub this on your face before you sleep. It will stop the nightmares. Forget Amara, she's gone. If you truly want peace, trust me." Kioma hesitated, staring at the powder. Something in her heart screamed danger, but her desperation silenced it. With trembling hands, she took it. "If this helps me sleep, I will try." That night, Kioma rubbed the powder across her face and lay down, whispering, "Let me rest, O Lord." Her eyelids grew heavy, her body stilled. But by morning, her mat was cold. Kioma did not rise. Her family screamed in horror, and soon the whole village gathered. Women wailed, men shook their heads, and whispers spread like fire. Kioma is dead. So suddenly. What evil has touched our children? Some villagers murmured, "Perhaps the gods are angry." First Amara vanishes. Now Kioma dies. Something is not right. Others scoffed, their voices tinged with envy. "Forget Amara. Let the prince choose another maiden. Why must we still speak of her?" At the palace, Prince Obinna received the news. His heart grew heavier, but he only clenched his fists. "The gods are speaking. This is no ordinary death. I will not rest until the truth is revealed." Meanwhile, in her hut, Ngozi sat alone, her hands shaking, though she smiled bitterly. She had silenced Kioma forever, but the victory felt hollow. For deep inside, she knew what she had done could not remain hidden forever. And far away, beneath the waters, the golden python writhed, her glowing eyes restless, as though sensing the price of betrayal had only just begun. After Kioma's sudden death, fear gripped Umweke. Whispers grew louder in the village square. First, Amara vanishes. Now Kioma is buried within days. Some said the gods were angry, others whispered that witchcraft had entered their land. But in the heart of Mama Ifeoma, grief burned stronger than fear. She could not eat, could not sleep. Every time she looked at Amara's empty mat, her heart cried out, "My only child, where are you?" One dawn, unable to bear the torment, she set out alone into the thick forest. Her bare feet pounded the dusty path, carrying her deeper until the trees closed around her like a curtain. She walked for hours, guided only by desperation, until she arrived at the shrine of the Dibia, the native doctor known for his wisdom. The old man sat before a fire, his face lined with age, chalk marks glowing faintly on his dark skin. Without looking up, he spoke as though he had been expecting her. "Woman, you seek answers, but prepare yourself. The truth is bitter." Mama Faoma fell to her knees, tears running down her face. "Tell me where my daughter is. Tell me what became of Amara." The Dibia threw cowries onto the ground, his voice chanting words older than memory. The fire roared suddenly, and he pointed. "Look into the flames. See for yourself." Mama Faoma leaned forward, trembling. At first she saw only smoke, but slowly shapes appeared. Amara walking beside Ngozi and Kioma. The hidden path through tall grass, the forbidden river glittering like glass. Her heart froze as she saw Ngozi push her daughter into the water. The river erupted, and from its depths rose a golden python, scales shimmering, eyes weeping with human sorrow. Mama Ifeoma gasped, covering her mouth. "No, no, my child!" She collapsed, sobbing. "I warned her. I knew those girls were poison." The Dibia's voice was steady. "Your daughter is not lost, not yet. The river goddess has claimed her, but she is in between worlds. You have 5 days. If nothing is done, Amara will remain a python forever." Mama Ifeoma's heart pounded. "What must I do? Tell me, I will do anything." From a gourd, the Dibia produced a small packet of brown powder wrapped in leaves. He placed it in her shaking hands. "At midnight, go to the forbidden river. Sprinkle this powder into the water and call your daughter's name. If the gods show mercy, she will rise again in human form. But hear me, tell no one, not even the prince. If anyone knows, the ritual will fail, and Amara will be lost forever." Mama Ifeoma clutched the packet to her chest, tears streaming dire down her face. "I will not fail. Even if it cost me my life, I will save my daughter." The Dibia nodded solemnly. "Then go. Be watchful. The eyes of envy are sharper than knives, and envy will not let Amara return without a fight. As Mama Ifeoma turned to leave, her heart carried both hope and fear. She did not know that already dark eyes were watching her movements, waiting to strike. Mama Ifeoma returned from the forest at sunset, clutching the small packet of sacred powder close to her chest. Her eyes burned with determination. 5 days, she whispered to herself. 5 days to bring my child back from the river's grip. But as she entered her hut, far away another ritual was taking place. In a dim room filled with smoke and dark charms, Ngozi knelt before Madame Ulama, her spiritual mother. The older woman's eyes gleamed red in the flickering light of burning herbs. She ran her hands over cowries, then hissed, "The woman you despise, Mama Ifeoma, has gone to the Dibia. She carries a sacred powder to break the curse. At midnight she will go to the river. If she succeeds, Amara will return, and your life will be ruined." Ngozi's face twisted with rage. "No, she cannot come back. I will stop her, even if it costs me everything." Madame Uloma leaned closer, her voice sharp like a blade. "Then you must steal the powder. Without it, there is no hope for her." That night, while the moon hid behind clouds, Ngozi crept through the shadows toward Mama Ifeoma's hut. Her heart raced, but her envy burned hotter than her fear. Quietly, she slipped inside. Her eyes scanned the room until she spotted the packet tucked beneath a mat. A wicked smile spread across her face as she reached for it. But just as her fingers closed around the powder, a voice thundered in the dark. "You evil child! What are you doing here?" Ngozi froze. Slowly she turned and saw Mama Ifeoma standing at the doorway, her eyes blazing with fury, her fists clenched. "After destroying my daughter, you dare enter my home to finish your wickedness?" Mama Ifeoma's voice shook with both grief and fire. Ngozi straightened, her lips curling into a mocking smile. "Your daughter thought she was untouchable. Now she is nothing but a serpent in the river, a python. Let us see if the prince will still love her." Tears glistened in Mama Ifeoma's eyes, but she did not step back. She pointed at Ngozi, her voice trembling with righteous anger. "You are a hollow soul, Ngozi, empty of love, filled with envy. You hated what you could never be. My daughter's beauty and grace shamed you, so you chose wickedness. But hear me today. The gods will judge you." Ngozi's face darkened with rage. She clutched the packet tighter, her voice rising. "If I must burn with the gods, so be it. But Amara will never rise again." For a moment the hut trembled with their clash of wills, one mother armed with truth and love, the other blinded by envy and pride. Outside, the wind howled as though the gods themselves leaned closer, watching the battle unfold. The night was heavy with silence. The moon hung low, casting silver streaks across the dark waters of the forbidden river of Oguta. The villagers slept, but Mama Ifeoma crept quietly through the forest, clutching the sacred powder given by the Dibia. Her heart pounded with both fear and hope. Unknown to her, Prince Obinna had followed from a distance. His love for Amara refused to let him rest. When he saw Mama Ifeoma slipping into the night, his instincts told him, this journey is about Amara. Determined, he trailed her steps. At the riverbank, Mama Ifeoma knelt, tears streaming down her face. She raised the packet of powder to the heavens and whispered, "O gods of the river, hear a mother's cry, restore my child to me." She sprinkled the powder into the waters, and instantly the river stirred. The water rippled, then churned violently. A golden glow erupted from beneath the depths, and slowly the majestic golden python emerged. Its scales shimmered in the moonlight, and its glowing eyes locked onto Mama Ifeoma with sorrow. Eyes that were human, eyes that were Amara's. Amai Feoma stretched out her arms, sobbing. "Amara, my child, hear me. Come back to me." But before the ritual could finish, a sharp voice rang out from the shadows. "You foolish woman. She will never return." Ngozi stepped forward, her face twisted with hatred, clutching the powder she had stolen earlier. "This is where it ends. Tonight the python stays a python forever." The villagers who had secretly followed behind Prince Obinna gasped in horror. The Igwe's guards drew closer, but Ngozi stood defiantly, her eyes burning with madness. Prince Obinna stepped into the moonlight, his voice deep and commanding. "Ngozi, enough! Your lies have ended. Your envy is revealed before the gods. You cannot fight love." Ngozi sneered. "Love? What love? Will you marry a snake, Obinna? Look at her. She is cursed, and you are a fool for holding on to her." The golden python coiled, hissing softly, her sorrowful eyes fixed on the prince. At that moment, Prince Obinna walked toward the serpent without fear. He dropped to his knees at the river's edge, his voice breaking. "Amara, no matter your form, I love you. Whether as a maiden or a serpent, my heart belongs to you alone. Return if you can. But even if you cannot, I will never take another bride." The villagers gasped, some covering their mouths in shock. The river roared, glowing brighter as the heavens seemed to answer. Lightning cracked across the sky, illuminating the scene. The golden python let out a deep cry, a sound that was not a hiss, but the echo of a human soul. The ground shook, and the river surged higher as if the gods themselves had been moved by the prince's vow. Ngozi stumbled back, fear finally dawning on her face. The ritual was not yet complete, but destiny was stirring, and the moment of truth was near. The forbidden river roared louder, glowing as if lit by fire from beneath. Villagers who had followed now fell to their knees, whispering prayers, for they knew they were standing on holy ground. The golden python writhed in the water, its eyes fixed on Prince Obinna. His vow of undying love had shaken the heavens. Mama Feoma raised her trembling hands to the sky, crying out, "Oh gods, you see her innocence. You know her purity. Have mercy on my child." Suddenly the river split with a burst of light. Thunder cracked above, and the python coiled tightly, its body shimmering like molten gold. Then before their eyes, the serpent's form began to shift. Scales melted into skin, coils stretched into limbs, and from the heart of the river rose Amara, weak but radiant, her white wrapper clinging to her like a second skin. Her eyes fluttered open, human once more, but shining with the memory of her trial. The crowd gasped, and tears streamed down Mama Feoma's face as she embraced her daughter. Prince Obinna stepped forward, lifting Amara into his arms with reverence. His voice shook as he whispered, "I told you, Amara, no curse could ever steal you from me." But amid the joy, another voice screamed. Ngozi, trembling and furious, pointed at Amara. "No, she cannot return. This is a trick. She does not deserve the prince." The villagers turned on her with disgust. The elders stepped forward, their faces grim. One of them declared, "Ngozi, the gods have judged you. You betrayed your sister, you mocked truth, and you sought to steal what was never yours. For your envy, you will be cast out of Umwike." The Igwe's guards seized her as she struggled and cursed. Her voice echoed through the trees, but it was drowned by the chants of the villagers. Truth has prevailed. The gods have spoken. That evening, the palace filled with celebration. Drums thundered, flutes sang, and maidens danced in circles. Amara, seated beside Prince Obinna, was crowned as the chosen bride. Her face glowed not only with beauty, but with the strength of one who had passed through fire and returned. When the songs quieted, The Igwe rose and spoke for all to hear. Let this day be remembered. Envy destroys, but truth stands forever. Love that is pure will outlasts every lie. May we raise our daughters to walk in honor and our sons to love with courage. The villagers cheered, their voices rising into the night sky. Mamai Feoma wept tears of joy, whispering, "My daughter has returned. The gods are faithful." And as the stars glittered above Umweke, Amara leaned gently against her prince. She knew her life would never again be simple, but she also knew her story carried a lesson for every soul. True beauty is not in the face, but in the heart, and true love does not fear the shadows. It shines until darkness flees.